What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So we got some great news. As according to recent reports, former IBF super featherweight world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, Jojo Diaz, who is 32 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 15 wins by way of knockout, 28 years of age, standing at 5'6" with a 64-inch arm reach. Joseph Diaz has agreed to face undefeated WBC lightweight world champion superstar boxer Devin "The Dream" Haney. Devin Haney, 26 wins, no losses, no draws, 15 wins by way of knockout, 22 years of age, stands at 5'8" with a 71-inch arm reach. So that means Devin Haney is going to have a 6-inch arm reach advantage over Joseph Jojo Diaz, and he's going to have a 2-inch height advantage over Joseph Jojo Diaz. According to recent reports, they are scheduled to face off either December 3rd or December 4th in Las Vegas, Nevada at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Okay. Now, with that said, they're waiting for the signature of Joseph Jojo Diaz, whom he agreed to in principle to everything. And Joseph Diaz said that the one thing that was holding up his signature was the fact that Devin Haney wants a rematch clause. And Joseph Diaz, he took to social media and he stated that he's willing to give Devin Haney now a rematch clause. He says, I'll just go ahead and dominate Devin Haney 2 times then, if that's what he's looking for. So this is huge news. Devin Haney's been looking for big fights, obviously. Joseph Diaz, after he beat Javier Fortuna, he became Devin Haney's mandatory challenger, okay? After Joseph Jojo Diaz, he beat Javier Fortuna, he became Devin Haney's mandatory. That was July of this year. He got a unanimous decision victory in his first fight at 135 pounds, okay? Prior to that, he fought Rakhmonov. He got a majority draw in that fight. And prior to that, he beat Tevin Farmer for the IBF super featherweight title, okay? And so Joseph Diaz, he moved up in weight. He's still very young, at 28 years old. He has a pressure style. You know, he does have power. A lot of people thought that Joseph Diaz was taking on or biting off a little bit more than he can chew, fighting a rough, rugged former world champion in Javier Fortuna. And he proved everybody to be completely wrong, as he completely dominated Javier Fortuna, in my opinion, okay? Now, with that said, after beating Javier Fortuna was the mandatory for Devin Haney. He and undefeated Mexican superstar, rising title contender, King Ryan Garcia, they were both the mandatories. They fought, that being Ryan Garcia, he fought Olympic gold medalist, British superstar, lightweight title contender Luke Campbell for the mandatory position to fight Devin Haney. And he beat Luke Campbell, that being Ryan Garcia, and then he stated he wanted to seek out a showdown with undefeated 3-division world champion superstar boxer Gervonta Tank Davis, who's 25 wins, no losses, no draws, 24 big wins by way of knockout, 26 years of age, standing 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. So with that said, he wanted to face Gervonta Tank Davis, that being Ryan Garcia, but he then did a bow face. But Devin Haney, he was at Ryan Garcia's fights, a few of his fights, but this last fight with Luke Campbell, he was definitely present, and he let Ryan Garcia know that he wanted to fight. And Ryan Garcia, he approached Devin Haney and said that if he don't fight Gervonta Tank Davis, he knows that that's the fight the fans want and the fight he needs to make. And he put himself in position to be the mandatory for Devin Haney's World Boxing Council, better known as WBC title, okay? And for everybody that's saying that, well, Devin Haney's not truly the WBC champion, well, that's incorrect, because President Mauricio Suleiman, he recently came out and he stated that no unified, undefeated lightweight world champion superstar boxer Teofimo Lopez is not the WBC official champion. He's indeed the franchise belt holder, okay? He's not the official WBC champion. The WBC official champion is Devin Haney. So they have to go through Devin Haney, to be the official WBC champion. So when you had everybody stating that, Devin Haney was a second-hand champion, well, the WBC debunked that notion. So to be the WBC champion, you're going to have to go through Devin Haney if you're Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia decided that he wanted to fight Joseph Jojo Diaz, and they offered Joseph Diaz $1.5 million. Instead of fighting the champion, the two mandatories decided to fight each other. But Ryan Garcia, he suffered a hand injury, which saw him have to be removed from the fight with Joseph Diaz, was scheduled for December himself. And now Joseph Diaz was left with no opponent. Well, that was right up Devin Haney and his father, trainer and manager, Bill Haney Alley, because that just opened the door for them to fight Joseph Jojo Diaz. So them in partnership with Matchroom CEO and promoter Eddie Hearn, who does business and has a deal with the Zone streaming app, they decided to come up with the $1.5 million that he was going to receive against Ryan Garcia. And the same date they offered him, but he gets an incentive. He gets to fight for the world title. Now he gets the opportunity to become a 2-division world champion and a 2-time world champion, okay? His only loss is to WBC featherweight world champion superstar boxer, who's the longest reigning champion in the sport of boxing. That's Mr. Gary Russell Jr., okay? That's the only loss on Joseph Diaz's resume, okay? So that speaks volumes, because Gary Russell is one of the best fighters in the world. So that's his only loss. So now they gave him what he was looking for. They essentially gave him an offer and a deal he could not refuse, right? Or if he refused it, it was going to be abundantly clear he was just simply not trying to fight Devin Haney. Why? Because he got the 1.5 he was going to get fighting Ryan Garcia. He got the same date he was going to get fighting Ryan Garcia in December 3rd or 4th. And he's getting an added incentive because he has the opportunity now to fight for a world title for a second time, well, third time, right? And he could become a 2-division world champion, okay? Solidifying himself as one of the best fighters of this era. So he has the opportunity to do so, okay? Which Ryan Garcia was not offering, because Ryan Garcia, well, he's not a champion. So he can't offer him an incentive on top of it, that being a world title belt, okay? He can offer him the opportunity to fight for $1.5 million and that date that he wanted to come back and fight in, but he couldn't offer him a belt. Now Devin Haney, he's offering him a belt and he's offering him the 1.5 and the same date. So it just it's an offer and a deal that Joseph Jojo Diaz just could not refuse. And according to reports, he has agreed to this deal. Now he has to essentially put his Hancock and make it official on the dotted line. But he took to social media and he said that the only thing that was holding it up was they were negotiating a rematch clause. So he stated that he's willing to accept a rematch clause as well. So should he beat Devin Haney, he has an immediate rematch clause. So that makes sense. Any champion and every champion should have a rematch clause. There should be no champion in the sport of boxing. It should be a foregone conclusion. There should be no champion in the sport of boxing that does not have a rematch clause. Every champion that goes into every fight, especially champions that are massive names, high-profile fighters, there's no way they should go in no fight without having a rematch clause. And so it looks like that's on the table, and Joseph Diaz says that he agrees to that fight, to the rematch clause, and he says at the end of the day, I just have to beat him twice, right? Because if he beats Devin Haney being a champion, he will have to immediately rematch him and give him his opportunity to regain his title. Devin Haney beats Joseph Diaz, him being a champion, he can move on. Now he's looking forward to facing Teofimo Lopez in the future. Oddly enough, as I stated, Teofimo Lopez, he'll be fighting his IBF mandatory challenger in George Kambosos Jr., undefeated Australian star boxer. That's scheduled to take place at Madison Square Garden, New York, November 27th. Okay, so that looks like that's going to take place November 27th, New York, the Hulu Theater in New York. Okay, so just a week later, you're going to get Devin Haney versus Joseph Diaz. So I expect Teofimo Lopez, after they went back and forth via social, coming face to face in their encounter, and they went viral on social media and every major platform. Okay, and they stated that they'll verbally agree to fight each other should they get past their upcoming opponents. So everybody's going to expect these two fighters to come together at some point in time. Okay, now with that said, obviously Teofimo Lopez, you know, he has to deal with his promoter, legendary promoter, top rank CEO and promoter, and Bob Arum. Okay, he has to deal with Bob Arum. So with that said, you know, we have to see how that unfolds. But this gives a clear path to promote this fight, me and Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney, to the highest degree. I don't think Devin Haney will be present at Teofimo Lopez fight, seeing as though it's in New York, and Devin Haney's fighting a week later on the West Coast in Las Vegas. But I expect Teofimo Lopez, after his fight, to be present at Devin Haney's fight, because his fight will be done with at that point in time, and he'll be able to travel. So this is going to be very interesting. You can promote both fights, and they both have big fights on their hands. So it makes sense. This is great news. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share the videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
This is Amanda, the Real Deal Serrano, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.